Hi guys, welcome to another episode of The Aspiring Entrepreneur. I'm your host Hamza Chowdhury, and today I'd like to talk to you about the general market and the Apple earnings that we're expecting tomorrow. But before I do so, I'd like to ask a favor of you. If you could hit that like and subscribe button, and feel free to share this channel and this video with
SALT
anyone that you think
Scorpio
would find it
Brokers
useful.
announcing purchase of common shares
We're
by
a
Scorpio
100% free
Services
content
Holding
channel, so
Limited.
anything that you could do to
Sandy
help
Apple Lima
support the channel is
Tango.
always appreciated. Thank you again for all your support. And today, guys, what a day. I mean, it was just from the start, it was sort of a bloodbath. The SPY, the Dow, the NASDAQ, everything was just down. And, given this volatility, we talked about it a few weeks ago with the earnings season, the election season, and sort of everything that was going on with the coronavirus cases are going up. We talked about the stimulus bill being held up, and now we obviously have this election that's coming up in a few days. And a lot of you guys who have probably gone long or had long positions have noticed quite, dramatic, sort of moves that have really caused a lot of panic in the market and this massive sell-off. And what really surprised me today, which is Wednesday, it's October 28th, is that we saw the gap down happen earlier, and I was expecting that market open that we would have somewhat of a correction or try to reclaim some of that loss, and instead we just had this massive sell-off, and it's obviously going to create long-term buying opportunities. But for guys like us that are watching, let's say for example Apple, we're going to an earnings call where the stock just tanked 4% the day before the earnings, and we haven't even heard anything. And then we know Microsoft, which actually beat expectations, beat earnings, had a solid call. We saw that also got essentially the same beatdown. And so if you look at pretty much all the stocks on the SPY, so if we go here and we go into the SPY, right, so the S&P, you can see that we pretty much had this from the moment we really opened. Just we're trending below this SMA line, and you can see that it was just a sell-off, and then we tried to trend higher and we sold off, and then it was pretty much consolidating the rest of the day. And at the end of the day, you can see this massive volume, right? So these are people who just held positions and just sold off going into prior to tomorrow. And so tomorrow we have Facebook, we have Amazon, we have Apple. So it's not just Apple that's doing earnings, we have earnings from all these big companies. So if you're holding positions in, you've obviously got quite a sort of sell off today, and it's hard to know, like, well, even if the earnings aren't that great, the sell-off's already occurred. Has the correction already occurred? And the answer is no. We mentioned it again in that previous video. Go ahead and if you watch it in terms of trading in the election season, is that this is just a sell-off, and all we can do is outline previous resistance and support to sort of outline where can we find where stock may head to next. But overall, if the market's selling off, the stock value is going to go down regardless, and it's going to hit support, but that doesn't mean that the support necessarily has to stay. And we saw that today. I mean, especially for Apple, which in several videos we've identified a 112.60, this blue line, as a solid support. And even that was broken, right? It was just everything essentially did not hold. Now we still are consolidating in this wedge that we have created, and we did tap into the bottom of it. But regardless, having that 112.60 breakout just tells you that when a sell-off occurs, there's nothing you can really do. So what I did is I did buy some longs today on Apple with expectations that we should see a gap up tomorrow and reclaim some of that loss. The loss today had nothing to do with the stock. It had to do overall with the market. So with the market, with the consecutive losses that we've seen these last few days, I expect that we should be able to reclaim some of that loss. And as you can see, as we finish sort of filling in this wedge here, I expect that we'll eventually break out. But again, given 5 days till the presidential election, we may be sort of stuck in this volatility until we can get some clear direction in terms of where our next president is going to be, and also where the stimulus bill is going to head. So guys, with that said, I just really wanted to kind of give more general advice in this video on what to do and how to trade. Yes, we're probably more short bias nowadays than ever. If you're doing options, looking into scalping SPY contracts and looking into holding off and just sitting on your hands, there's nothing wrong with that. Don't feel that you pressured because you woke up today, you wanted to trade, that you have to trade, that you have to press a bunch of buttons. It's better to be net zero or green than red, right? So if you have to pass on trades, or if you're looking for trades, just make sure you're trading A+ setups that have all the indications or all the indicators that you use are lining up, and that they're solid. So my best advice right now is to really sit on your hands if you can. You know, again, I'm going to be holding now through the earnings call tomorrow. Ideally, I would have loved to have sold off my positions. In my previous Apple video a couple days ago, we talked about the 117.50 range. We hit 117, I believe it was 30 yesterday. So we're right there. It was a perfect range to kind of sell and kind of get ready for the earnings call. But probably a lot of us are now sort of stuck, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, as long as it's part of your risk management plan and you've identified where you want to, you know, sort of exit the position in case it doesn't go your way, or in this case, if we have a market sell-off, you know, just come up with your plan and try to stay with it. And like I said, guys, the volatility should be over in the next few weeks. And obviously, once the election's over and we have a stimulus bill, we should start getting back some clear direction. So with that said, guys, please leave some questions and comments below. Be happy to help out. And I wish you guys the best of luck during this trading season. And take care, guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.